Protect. A Shoto Todoroki X-Reader fanfic by Colorful Hair Girl 123. This short fanfic does talk about physical abuse, so if that is a trigger for you, then this video may not be for you. If you like the video, please consider subscribing if you're new to the channel, leaving a like or a comment down below telling me what you thought or what you'd like to see. But without further ado, let's begin. When you moved into the dorm, you were hoping you wouldn't have to deal with so much yelling. It was different though. This was just your friends yelling at each other, not the type you were used to. But sometimes your friends yelling would still trigger something inside you, and at this moment it was. Bakugo and Ida. You were sure it was going to start a fist fight. You weren't sure honestly, but that's all you were used to. You were used to the slightest fight turning into a fist fight or you becoming a punching bag.
Shut up, dumbass. No one else is complaining.
Bakugo yelled at Ida, who was glaring at him. The yelling match kept going. You couldn't take it. It was bringing back memories you didn't want to deal with. You went to stand up, but another shout made your knees go weak, making you fall on the floor, hitting the table that was by the couch. That, of course, made a loud noise, making them stop fighting and made everyone else look around at you. You okay? You heard Shoto Todoroki ask you, helping you back up. You slightly nodded, not making eye contact with anyone. You could feel your body shaking. You sure? You heard him ask again. Yeah. Your voice was still shaky, but you slowly walked away from everyone, going into your dorm and hiding there for the rest of the night. The next day, you tried to ignore the eyes of Todoroki that was now staring at you every now and again. You had a feeling it was because of yesterday. Once again, Bakugo was at it, yelling at anyone and everyone. You tried to focus on your paperwork, trying to block him out, but as much as you tried, you couldn't. You knew you had to leave before you broke down. You quickly got up and ran out of the classroom, running to the bathroom, trying to pull yourself together. Come on, you mumbled to yourself. You're letting this get to you way too easily. It's only Bakugo. It's not your father. You can do this. Once you pulled yourself together, you went back to the classroom. Once you opened the door, Shoto's eyes met yours. You quickly looked away, sitting back down before the teacher came in. A little later on, it's been a month, and you've gotten used to all the yelling and loudness. It finally wasn't bothering you, but a certain icy hot still kept an eye on you. You felt kind of happy that someone actually cared about you enough to keep an eye on you. You never had someone care this much. Everything was going great until today. Your teacher, Eraserhead, or Aizawa, came to you in the afternoon after class to tell you that your father was coming to visit. Is that even allowed? You asked, trying not to freak out. We really haven't made many rules, so for now, yes. He said he wanted to talk to you about something important. He yawned while saying it. You just nodded at those words. What could he even want? You knew it wasn't going to be good, but you just went to the dorms and waited on the couch, not even changing out of your uniform. You tried to keep your cool, but you knew your whole body was shaking, and you weren't even trying to hide it at this point. You felt like throwing up. Hey, you heard Deku say worriedly. You barely got out before you heard the door open. You froze, but it was only Mina coming in with some of the other girls. You sighed relief for the moment. Hey, what's wrong? Deku asked. You looked around to see who was around. While looking around, you caught Shoto staring, looking sort of worried. It's nothing, you mumbled, looking up at Deku. There was a big bang. It was the door flying open, and in that moment you knew it was him. He didn't even have to say anything, you just knew. Deku, get away from me, you whispered. Midoriya didn't even ask anything. He quickly moved away. That's when you spotted your father in the doorway. His body was strong, looking as always. He was looking around. That's when he spotted you sitting on the couch. You watched him give you a look, saying, "Calm." You quickly got up, doing your best to control your legs and body from shaking in fear. You slowly walked over to him. Once you got to him, you looked up at the face of the monster who used to hit you, burn you, scream at you, make things all your fault. You went to say hello, but before you could even speak, he spoke.
Shut up.
His voice was stern and sent fear down your body. He went on.
I see you're living with guys too. You're such a whore. Who have you slept with?
You knew everyone in the living room could hear what he was saying, and unlucky for you, it was basically everyone. You closed your eyes, mentally saying sorry to all of them as you listened to him go on.
I can't believe such a worthless child got into the hero course. They must be letting anyone in these days. What a shame.
He walked in more, passing you.
Where's your room? Or do you share it with a guy? I wouldn't put it past you.
You didn't understand why he would say that. You've never even spent the night with any boys. You barely could do anything when you lived with him. It's on the next floor. And no, I've got my own room, you plainly said, turning around. Everyone's eyes were on you. Now that you were behind your father, you mouthed, I'm sorry, guys. You wanted to cry. It's not like they can defend you. They were told to be respectful to the visitors. You watched all of them slightly nod, letting you know they wouldn't hold this to you. You followed your father as he was looking around, before turning to you again.
You're coming back home. I was wrong to let you come here. All it's doing is wasting your time,
he said, walking away from you again. You were shocked. You didn't want to leave. And before thinking, you yelled, no! And with that, he turned back and glared at you.
What did you say to me?
He yelled. Your body shook. All that fear was coming back, but you still muttered out, I said no. He grabbed you by the arms and shook you.
You little shit! Who do you think you're talking to?
He screamed in your face and you felt his spit hit you. I'm not leaving, you yelled once again, filled with fear. You felt his grip tighten and him activate his quirk that sent lightning all throughout your body. You went to scream, but you were now out of the eye shot of everyone. You didn't want to make them worry or get them involved, but the pain made you fall to the floor. You now had burnt skin that was also bleeding, where his hands had been.
You're leaving. I don't give a damn what you have to say,
he said, turning his back to you. You felt defeated, but your mouth moved on its own. I'm not leaving, you yelled. You were so upset you set off your quirk without meaning to. It was called Bloodshot. The blood that was on your arm shot off like you had a bullet and shot him in the arms. You heard him hiss in pain.
That dumb quirk,
he laughed at you. As he turned back and started walking towards you, he went to hit you. You quickly closed your eyes. After a moment, you opened your eyes to see Bakugo and Todoroki had your father by his arms, while Deku was in front of you protecting you. Todoroki had frozen the arm he was holding on to, while Bakugo was using his quirk on his other arm. Nothing too big, just big enough to hurt him a bit. Your eyes started watering.
You're not taking her away from us!
All three of the boys yelled at the same time.
These must be the boys you're fucking, huh? These pitiful little shits!
He smirked.
Fine. Keep the little whore. She's worthless anyways. I just wanted her to come back so she can do the shit I don't want to do. Plus, then she could be my little punching bag.
He laughed.
Come on. Why would you protect this little piece of worthless shit? She's probably only good for fucking. She's not going to become a hero. She's too dumb.
Todoroki had had enough when he punched your father right in the gut, making him fall by surprise. Once he was on the floor, Todoroki's fireside was lighting up. I should burn you to a crisp. You're the only one who's worthless. Not believing in your child? How sad. She's amazing, he hissed at your father. In the end, your father left, but not without blurting out a couple more insults. You were still in the same spot, and you were shaking and tears were falling down your face. You couldn't move. Now I see why she used to freak out when Bakugo used to yell. You heard Deku mumble to himself as he picked you up and carried you to the couch where everyone sat around you. We should take you to Recovery Girl to heal you up, you heard Asui suggest. Should we tell someone what had happened? Ida asked. You just nodded with a little. Probably should. Ida nodded too, leaving to go talk to one of the teachers. When Ida left, Bakugo and Todoroki came back in front, making sure your father had left. You okay? You heard Todoroki ask. You just nodded.
Hey,
Bakugo sighed, rubbing the back of his neck.
You should have told us. I wouldn't have fought with everyone so much in front of you.
You looked up at him and gave him a small smile. I didn't want to ruin anyone's fun, and plus I know that's how you are. He smiled a little bit bigger. Bakugo gave you a small smile before he walked off. You watched Todoroki come from the hallway with some bandages. He slowly came over to you and sat in front of you. Let me wrap up those arms. He softly grabbed one arm, putting stuff on it before he wrapped the bandage on. Then he did it to the other side. Hey, he spoke up again. You just stared at him before he went on. You're so amazing. Don't listen to him, okay? You giggled slightly and gave him a little nod. After a while, everyone was done asking if you're okay and telling you how amazing you are, and Mina turned off the light. Since you had such a shitty night, we decided that we were all going to watch some movies and hopefully make you feel better. She stopped for a moment. Will that be alright? Mina asked, worried. I would love to have a movie night with all of you guys. You giggled. You felt loved. You felt like you belonged, and that's something you longed for. And for once, you got it. Todoroki brought a blanket from his room and wrapped it around you. Oh, what's this for? You stuttered. Kinda embarrassed the blanket smelled like him, which made you blush slightly. He didn't say anything, as he sat down beside you, pulling you into his arms, and whispered, Don't keep secrets like that from us. You melted in his arms and just nodded. Never again, you mumbled into his blanket. At the end of the night, you had fallen asleep while leaning on Todoroki. And in that moment, he promised himself that he would do everything in his power to protect you from this day on. I hope you guys enjoyed this Todoroki fanfic. And I want you guys to know that everything's going to be okay. If you're in some sort of bad home situation, or maybe at school, or maybe even a friend group, I want you to know that it's going to be okay. And these bad things don't last forever. And heroes really do exist. I want you to keep that smile up and have a great day. Because you're amazing. And I love you all so very much. And don't worry, there are hugs to go all around. But that's it for this video. I love you all. And until next time, my name is Bizarre. Cue the outro.